Your name, please?
Arian Boswell.
Good afternoon, Ms. Boswell. Ms. Boswell has two matters. First, we're going to call some matters. You have warrants for your arrest, then we have additional matters. So, Ms. Boswell, we're going to handle everything. First, the matters we have warrants for your arrest, and we'll get to your criminal matters. Handle misdemeanors first. So, on these matters, Ms. Boswell, I'm going to release you on a personal bond, no dollar amount, scheduling a pretrial date via Zoom. You must attend on July 9th, Judge Yancey at the 36th District Court. Understood? Ms. Boswell, as with any criminal matter, you have a right to remain silent. Anything that you say orally or in writing can and will be used against you in the court of law. You have the right to an attorney, one present at questioning and at all future proceedings. If you cannot afford an attorney, the court will appoint you one at the public's expense. Did you hear and understand your rights?
Okay.
Ms. Boswell, this in regard to ticket numbers SP 1486972, August 10th, 2023. Count one, driver's license never acquired. Count two, drive unregistered or untitled motor vehicle, and SP 1702834, March 28th, 2025. Count one, drive unregistered untitled motor vehicle. Count two, no insurance misdemeanor on 2016 Chevy. Count three, drive while license not valid or improper license. These are all misdemeanors that carry up to a $500 fine and or 93 days in jail as a maximum fine and penalty. Recall your warrant, set aside cases, enter a not guilty plea on your behalf. You'll be released personal bond pretrial via Zoom July 9th, 9 a.m. Judge Yancey. Ms. Boswell, you have two additional matters. Any objection calling them together from the people?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
Any objection calling them together from defense?
No, Judge, thank you.
Okay, Ms. Boswell, do you have a question?
No, I'm sorry.
Okay, so pay attention to the court, please. It's important what we're doing. So you have two additional matters. We're going to call them together without objection. So state your name again.
Arian Boswell.
These are both on case numbers 25058-326. People State of Michigan, Zaria Kalilia Boswell, also known as Zaria Boswell, Zaria K. Boswell. And case number 25058-327. People State of Michigan, Zaria Kalilia Boswell, also known as Zaria Boswell, Zaria K. Boswell. Appearance for the people.
Lisa Coyle appearing on behalf of the people.
Judge Miguel Perico appearing on behalf of Ms. Boswell. My client's been advised of her constitutional rights, waives upon reading the complaint, stands mute, respectfully requests that this court enter a not guilty plea on her behalf as to all cases.
Thank you, both of you. Ms. Boswell, a court waive formal reading and her plea of not guilty. On both of these cases, I'm scheduling the same court date and times. You'll have a probable cause conference via Zoom, July the 3rd, 8:30, 36th District Court, Judge JK. You have a right to a preliminary examination in person, July 9th, 8:30, 36th District Court, Judge JK. Did you hear and understand those two court date and times you must attend? Yes, thank you. Not guilty, please entered on your behalf as the bond from the people.
Your Honor, people are recommending a $50,000 cash surety. She's able to make that bond. I'm asking for a tether house arrest. I'm also asking for no driving in this matter. I'm going to start with the offense that occurred.
I don't mean to cut you off. Is that on both of them? Same recommendation for each?
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
and for the following reasons. On April 12th of 25, we have the same complainant, Mr. Carson, on both matters. He has child in common with Ms. Boswell. Those allegations are that she went through his cell phone, she became angry, broke a window, he went out to look, attempted to hit the complainant several times with her car. Then on the allegations as to June 22nd, she called him, said, "You want me to come over," and caused a scene. Then she came over and with her vehicle, accelerated his car in his direction, struck him in the legs, and he landed on her car hood. Per the allegations, she attempted to hit him several other times with her car. She then pulls onto the grass and sounds her horn. And then at some point later, she returns and attempts to hit him, and she struck the building. It is also to note that she pled guilty on March 27th of 24 to felonious assault. She's under HIDA status. She has a violation. She had a violation on that matter about 2 months later on the 20th of May of 24. She received 2 years probation for that felonious assault. When I looked into that felonious assault, it's a completely different complainant. And in that matter, she attempts to hit hits the complainant, who is in like the on the passenger side of the car and hits her standing next to her car. And so.
With her car?
Pardon?
She hit her with her car?
Yes, that's
And that's the conviction? Okay,
that
thank
is
you.
what she pled guilty to, the felonious assault. She then is on probation for 2 years. So because it's HIDA, I can't look and see if she's still currently or her probation was ended. But it is apparent from these matters, Your Honor, there's a similar theme in that she uses her car as a weapon. And I'm going to go back to that question you asked me. The complainant is standing in the rear passenger door jamb of the vehicle. As the defendant's vehicle approaches, defendant strikes the vehicle in the passenger door that was open at the time at a high rate of speed, causing the complainant to be smashed between the car door and the body of the car itself. She then continues to drive off at a high rate of speed, fleeing the scene of the crime. So that's from the IR of the case she pled on. So I do believe, based on this, Your Honor, this is a completely separate person. And she's on probation for the same thing. And then now we have 2 allegations within 2 months of each other that she's using her car to allegedly strike Mr. Carson. And he's also a young man. He's, I believe, 20 years old himself. So based on those allegations, Your Honor, I'm asking for that $50,000 cash surety, tether house arrest, no driving, no contact. Thank you.
Thank you. Response.
But Judge, on behalf of Ms. Boswell, please consider my argument as to both cases. I understand all the charges alleged against my client, Judge. I understand this court's obligation to the public and keeping them safe, specifically this complaining witness. Judge, I would be asking you to consider a personal bond on the matter. My client is very young. She's only 20 years old. Perhaps in her later years, she'll become more and more wise. But at this very moment on which she's charged with, Judge, she is presumed innocent and will remain that way unless proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. She does have 2 children in which she takes care of. She does not work. She's a stay-at-home mother. She's the sole caretaker for her children. I understand the state's recitation on any prior cases or probation that my client may be on. I would ask this court to take into consideration the fact that she is only 20 years old, that any amount of a bond would be unaffordable for her. She does not work at the moment, Judge. She has provided me a good address in which she resides. It is an address different from the complaining witnesses. Judge, I am also asking you to consider any other type of conditions that you may be able to impose instead of the monetary condition, whether that be a tether, a curfew, or house arrest. My main goal is that my client is not staying in pretrial detention over some money. So that's my argument to you today, Judge. I don't want to litigate any of the facts of these cases. It's not the appropriate time to bring that up. I would be asking for a personal bond, no objection to any type of monetization or additional conditions you impose. And of course, no objection to no driving. I believe Ms. Boswell understands that to not be driving at all, to not be behind the wheel of a car until this case is concluded or told otherwise by a court. Thank you, Judge.
Thank you both.
Yeah, and Judge, I'm sorry for those 2 children I mentioned. One is 1 year old and the other is 5 months old.
Thank you both. Okay. Ms. Boswell, I have a number of concerns, ma'am. You're either on probation or not, but it's apparent you have a conviction. Let's not shake your head. Let's just pay attention. I'll give you a chance. You have a conviction for a felonious assault, and it's indicated by the prosecutor that you smashed another individual between your car and their car and pled guilty to that. So you're on probation, or you were, for a conviction of striking somebody with your car. Now, here we are today, allegations of you attempting to run somebody over, and then a couple months over, allegations of you actually hitting this person. In April, after already having the conviction that the court's placed on the record, it's alleged that you attempted to hit this complaining witness with your vehicle several times and then fled the location. Roughly 2 months later, in June of this year, it's alleged that the same complaining witness, after apparent discussion or argument, you began to attempt to strike this complaining witness with your vehicle. As stated, you've been convicted, pled to this. You have an allegation 2 months prior, and now this took place roughly 2 days ago. And this time it's alleged that you hit the individual. And not only hit this individual, striking him in the legs, causing him to flip up and land on top of your hood, where he got off of the hood, and then once again, you fled the location. The allegations very concerning, continuing the investigative report, that you returned to the location and then again attempted to strike the complainant once again with your vehicle, and then fled the location again. So I see a pattern here. We have a conviction of you hitting somebody with your vehicle, pleading guilty. Now we have allegations in the city of Detroit of you attempting to hit somebody, fleeing the location, hitting somebody, striking them, flipping them on the hood, and then fleeing the location, allegedly coming back and trying to hit them again. And so with those allegations, Ms. Boswell, I have high concerns regarding the safety of the public at whole. Given your prior convictions and given the allegations in both of these investigators' reports, I do have high and clear and convincing concerns that you are a danger to the public, specifically in these two matters, the complaining witness, Mr. Carson. And on these two matters, the complaining witness is the same individual. And so I have high concerns regarding their safety. And for those reasons, by clear and convincing evidence, I do find you to be a danger to Mr. Carson, and find a personal or nominal bond will not adequately protect their safety. One moment, I'll give you a chance. And I'm setting a bond intentionally unaffordable on each matter at $35,000 cash or surety on each. On each, I'm giving you the same bond conditions, Ms. Boswell. There's to be no driving, period. No driving for any reason. Given these assaultive allegations, you're not to purchase or possess a firearm or any dangerous weapon. You will be fit with a GPS tether on each if you're able to post bond, and you'll have a curfew of 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. On both matters, you have absolutely no contact with the complaining witness, Mr. Carson, and that's no contact of any kind, orally, in writing, through a third party at his place of residency, employment, or through any forms of social media. Absolutely no contact with the complaining witness. And you're not to go anywhere near the Hill Drive address in Detroit, Michigan. If you go anywhere near that complaining witness or his location or violate this curfew in any way, you're subject to get picked up without a warrant and have your bond conditions forfeited and or revoked. And again, no driving whatsoever unless medical or court ordered. Counsel, is this an unaffordable bond?
Yes, Judge, it is.
Thank you. So based on that, Ms. Boswell, I'm scheduling on both of these an unaffordable bond redetermination hearing 2 days from today. You'll see the chief judge on June 26th via Zoom at 9 a.m. If you're unable to post these bonds, you'll have defense counsel present. You'll be able to re-argue bond at that point. Now, Ms. Boswell, do you have any questions on your court dates or your bond conditions?
But I do want to be.
What's
Ms.
your
Boswell, if
question?
you don't have questions about your court date or your bond conditions, I would recommend you don't speak. You have the right to speak, but anything you say, there's a prosecutor on the screen with us. It's not going to help you. This decision's already been made. We'll have a hearing in 2 more days to re-argue this again and try to get you out either for less money or for no money. I understand your frustrations, but if it's not about your bond conditions or your court dates, I would recommend you don't speak. Judge, may we mark this as medical, please? I'm sorry.
Yes, DDC, please mark Ms. Boswell file medical, please.
Your Honor, can I add one thing that I forgot? This happened in a place called on the MDP case and in Hartford Village. I don't know if that's an apartment complex or how that is, but I would ask for that condition no, because that's complaint number 2, where she did the damage.
I gave that. I don't mean to cut you off, but I gave that condition of a no contact. That's on that Hill Drive address. So I gave that condition of no contact. That's where that's located.
Okay, thank you.
This 17522 Hill Drive. Okay, anything further from Ms. Coyle or defense?
Oh, no, thank you.
No, Judge, thank you.
Thanks for watching. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button for more crazy court hearings like this one.